to another Arias Wave update. Now, this is video number 6 in the current series as I'm going through all the markets, especially cryptos, and just seeing how everything ties in. I'll link those videos down below. So this time, someone has recommended I do a video on Cardano ADA. And this particular coin reminds me of what Stellar XLM is currently doing. It's basically got a very similar pattern going on. Yes, there's a difference in price, but that's not the point I'm trying to make here. The similarities are that the A wave was the biggest wave and it has already occurred. Well, not necessarily the biggest wave, but is fairly large and ended in March 2020. So the B wave has already shown itself to be larger because it made a new high. And I don't think that this is the end of the run just yet. I still believe that this will hit around $2 basically, according to this particular analysis. Now, this particular B wave is a nice sharp 3-wave move, and the B wave within the B wave is a very it's expanded, and it's a kind of a simple correction, but it's an expanded correction, which means the B wave ended above the end of wave A. Now, this may look a little bit impulsive at this stage, but I think it's just a very strong wave. B. I don't think that there's going to be a follow through that will continue to the upside. I do think it'll hit $2 though, before it makes a reversal and heads back down in C wave, CDE pattern, or as I've mentioned, a large C followed by a D and an E, sort of creating like either a consolidation, a triangular shape, or it could be. I don't think it'll be an expanding correction because that means we'd have to see a new low. I don't think that will happen. So let's just see what happens. Now, yeah, so you could see that in the A wave, you had your A, B, C, D, E. Now, I mentioned this happens all the time. A and B are zigzags, so is D, and waves C and E are 5-wave moves, right? So you can see that there. This is a B wave here. You can see that you can't call this a wave 3 because in this case, the middle wave would be the shortest. It's not that easy to measure that, but it's basically that versus that. And then you've got this down here. So I see an expanded B wave correction to the downside there. And then all the other following waves make sense. So sometimes when you get these, what I call stretched out zigzags, expanded type zigzags, to me, they are just basically telling me that there was a lot of weakness, I suppose, but the resulting moves, the counter moves, they show perfectly a 5-wave move, 3-wave, 5-wave. So to me, that makes sense that it was a B wave, which adds more credence to the overall pattern being that expanded zigzag as I speak of, right? And also because we saw a break of the E wave in the following move, that confirmed that this pattern was complete. So what comes next? Well, I already mentioned we still need to make another move up higher to $2 before we see that reversal take place. So that's basically it for Cardano ADA. I have seen some comments saying that I'm wrong, or I'm too bearish, or stuff like that. And it's like, okay, fine, back your claims up. That's the first thing you need to do, because just saying that someone's wrong without any evidence or any, specific claims with backups, you're basically just trolling. So you just need to understand that that's what that is. Although I'm not going to take it too seriously, because I know a lot of people out there, they're surviving on the FOMO and the hype right now. So you might have had a bad run and you're kind of feeling that you need to recover. Look, this is why I learned the waves. It's because that's not the way to treat it. Just because you're invested in something, it doesn't mean that it's going to go up just for you, right? And I've even heard counter arguments like, oh, I don't think they're going to allow it to go that low. I don't think they want us to buy it so low. But you have to understand that they don't really control these markets. And also, a lot of people actually panic sell when it goes down. So I think that argument's a little bit weird as well. So I just think it's just showing people's emotions when it comes to the waves and trading and that. A lot of the times, if you have too much emotion in your trading, that means that you're probably not making the right choices, and you're probably you could be risking too much as well. Yeah, too much emotion, not a good thing in this game. And if you FOMO buy this and it goes down, what the hell is the point of that? You got to ask yourself that question. If you can't buy low, um, yeah, whatever. You can keep adding at a lower price if you know the waves. If you think this is going to go straight to the moon, well, you're going to keep buying it, aren't you? And then it's going to come back down, and you probably think, oh, we could have bought it lower. It's okay if you just keep buying and adding to your, you know, your stack, but still, just keep adding to those bags anyway. Why not? I suppose that's a buy and hold strategy. And if you're just going to trade it as in buy and sell constantly, well, this is also good information. So don't forget to check out the XLM chart. That's a very similar pattern to this one. We're building the case across all the charts in this series, so you can basically put it all together yourself and see how the patterns are actually emerging across all of them, and and throughout different markets, these patterns are sort of all lining up. And there's also that other comment that I saw, which was basically saying stuff like, I just went through all your charts and you're like, it looks like you're a bear. Well, hang on a minute. These markets trend together, right? The cryptos trend together. If I'm thinking bearish thoughts on one coin, well, what do you think that means? It means that it's going to happen across the board, right? So I don't understand that comment. I think it shows ignorance when it comes to these waves, and also perhaps a little bit too much emotion as well. So yeah, look, if you don't like this analysis, keep FOMO buying. Go listen to the guy who's mooning every video since bloody 2017. I mean, I see a lot of people a year ago that had a video saying this is about to go up now, blah blah blah. Well, a year ago, I didn't have as much evidence as I have now. So, and the longer this goes on, the more I'm going to see the completion of the correction. When we see that final E wave, I'm going to say to you, it's time to go to the moon, right? I'm going to tell you that. I'm going to tell you it's time to go to the moon. I will, because it's coming, right? But it's not now. That's the only thing that I have to say at this point. So I don't care about BS comments, really. It doesn't make a difference to me, because when I see that C, that D, that E, right, we're getting ready for launch, right? E wave is the last wave in a correction, not B wave. Are you kidding me? That's the fake out wave. That's the fake breakout wave, right? Yes, if you look in hindsight, you can see new highs mean, yes, you should buy, but that's not always the case, okay? Just because you buy and it goes a bit higher doesn't mean that it's going to keep going, especially if the correction's not even done yet. And especially if it's an expanding correction where it's broken the high and it comes back down. And you know what? Some of these cryptos may expand to the upside, right? The D wave might expand to the upside, right? Now, yeah, you could also argue that maybe the B wave is going to expand to the upside, but I don't think so. When you put all of the charts together, especially like Bitcoin, you can see that it's already the C wave of the B wave is already pretty long, right? Like, just say, for example, look at the chart here. You can see this 3-wave move right here, right? Now, I consider this a three-wave move. I don't care what anyone says, right? This is how I look at the waves. It's always the same, but sometimes you'll notice that the C wave is longer than the A wave. So it's A, B, C. And you probably wonder, why is that? Well, think about it. This market just went down and people bought the dip and they got really bullish. So they made that C wave go really full on, like longer and harder, and then it just resulted in misery, right? But this is what B waves are like, or any wave that is sort of pointing to the upside, right? In this case, the A wave was to the upside because it was in an A wave zigzag to the downside, right? So that's pointing back up, right? Now the B wave is pointing up because it's the B wave, right? This is pointing back up after the A wave, right? Obviously, okay? So that's why you're going to see different waves pointing in different directions, is because the counter trend moves, right? The B wave is a counter trend move, right? And when it expands to the downside, it means there's weakness in that market, right? So once you learn the waves, you understand these things. They become second nature. You don't think about them. It's like, yeah, whatever, who cares? Let's just move on and wait for the next wave so I can keep tracking this thing, because I want to keep tracking this thing. So I'll keep tracking this thing. I'll do it for you. Don't worry. You don't have to learn the waves. Okay, you can just keep watching this channel, and you can also keep watching those moon channels and how they keep failing at their analysis. I see that all the time. Some people have great news, but BS analysis. So whatever, I suppose we'll find out in the long run, and I get to prove all you trolls wrong, because yeah, I don't know what the hell you're running off, but it's probably FOMO and hype. So hopefully you found this video interesting and informative. Thank you for watching.